I was going through my samples the other day and like sorting through things to see what do I have full bottles of? What can I get rid of? Like empty sample vials that I'm like, I don't need these anymore. And I was like, hey, you know what? There are so many fragrances that I actually purchased after wearing the sample out. And it would be a fun video to share a few fragrances that I just absolutely had to buy after sampling. I try to make it a rule for myself that I work through the entire sample before committing to a full bottle, but I'm a little bit of a rule breaker in that sense. There will be the odd time that I'll smell it a little bit and be like, no, I have to buy the bottle. Especially if there's a sale on, like when Sephora's having their VIB sale, I'll just pull the trigger without wearing through the actual sample. But generally, I do try to stick to my rule of wearing through the sample, sometimes even 2 or 3 before committing to the bottle. So these are the ones that I sampled and immediately needed to buy and add them to my collection. Of course, we'll start with Wood Sage and Sea Salt. You guys that know me know how much I love this fragrance, but it took me a while to actually commit to a full bottle because the performance is so horrible. And it is an expensive fragrance, but this is one of the first ones that I smelled years and years ago, close to the beginning of my fragrance journey, that I just like fell in love with it immediately and was really struggling with the dilemma of, do I buy it, do I not? Because it's so darn expensive, but it smells so good. So I worked through a bunch of Sephora samples when they were still giving out those little bottles, got a little mini that I worked through, got some dupes that I actually still use and love and do think that they're actually even better than having the bottle, but the bougie person that I am, I like to just have the bottle. So anyway, I did end up buying this, albeit through a hookup with a bit of a discount, but I needed the bottle. I am satisfied, I have it, I use it, and I will tell you guys, this is completely unsponsored, but the Fragrance Shop, which is a US based oil dupe company, have an amazing dry body oil that I like to layer with this. So when I get out of the shower, I lather myself in that dry body oil and then I wear the fragrance, and it actually really helps with the longevity. So just a little tip for you guys. Fleur de Bamboo, another incredible freshie. This one I had smelled at Saks a few years ago, and I actually just sprayed it on a paper, and it lasted so long on that paper. I brought it home, I kept smelling it and smelling it. It has a really nice sweetness to it. It's a bamboo-y lotus scent with almost, like I say when I talk about this fragrance, a banana-esque sweetness. It's delicious, a bit musky, and I had to track it down. I couldn't get it through Saks. I don't know why. They weren't selling it online. Anyway, this is how I found Raffinat Perfumery, which is now like my favorite niche shop of all time. They actually had this for a really good price, and I still love it. I still wear it in the summer all the time. It is one of my most reached for fragrances and such a long-lasting freshie. Since I started with freshies, I guess I'll just keep going with the freshies and then I'll get to the heavier, warmer stuff. So Pacific Rock Moss, this one I had actually worked through a couple samples. I bought the whole sample kit from the brand. I had purchased a sample before on Lucky Scent. Beautiful. Love it. But I had to go through 2 because again, the performance is not great. So I couldn't bring myself to buy it until a little while later. They were having a little bit of a sale around like whatever, Black Friday or around Christmas time. I did go ahead and buy the full bottle, and it is such a beautiful fragrance. No looking back. I love it. The more I smell it, the more I love it. It has a very refreshing sea breeze effect. It actually smells a little bit like, in another video I mentioned, a mix of like MAC Turquotic, that same almost sweet, dare I say, shampoo-y freshness, and the aromatic, almost herbal saginess of Wood Sage and Sea Salt. That, but masculine. Not fully masculine, but a little bit masculine leaning, still unisex. I still do wear this, but I do prefer to smell this on my man. I think it's super sexy. One of my favorite summer fragrances for men. But again, keep in mind, performance is not great, just the scent is. Mediterranean Honeysuckle. You guys know how much I love this fragrance, and I discovered it by fluke through a little sample that a friend of mine gave me. She just like gave me a random bag of samples that she had, and Mediterranean Honeysuckle was in there, and I was dying over it. It was so good. So then I went ahead and I did get myself a full bottle after wearing through this little guy, and this smells like a very clean, true honeysuckle, almost tea-like, very gentle, clean, crisp, and almost like soapy in a way. It smells like a baby soap from Johnson & Johnson called Cotton Touch. It has a very similar sort of like bubbly soapiness to it. It's beautiful. It's very comfortable. I think this is one of my most reached for fragrances. It makes me happy every time I smell it. And yeah, like totally random find just through a bag of samples from a friend of mine. So then when I got my Mediterranean Honeysuckle, they sent me one of these. And I was like, hey, this is good. Amber Musk. And I so happened to get another big box of samples from another friend of mine who included a second one. So I wore through 2 of them, and then I was absolutely convinced that I did need a bottle. Got myself Amber Musk. This is a very fluffy, clean, cozy fragrance. It's warm. It smells like a very light, high quality, like cashmere sweater that you're wearing around you. It smells like a hug. It's sweet, it's comfortable, it's airy, light, and I think it's the perfect signature scent. This and Mediterranean Honeysuckle, I think, are my favorite ones from Erin. I wear them both a lot. I talked about this one in my 5 fragrances that every woman needs to own. I'll link that up here. It would make the absolute perfect signature scent. Next up is Princess by Kilian. Again, I wore through a few of these samples from Sephora, not the brand samples, but the little decants at Sephora when they used to give them to you. And again, the reason why I didn't pull the trigger sooner was because of the poor performance. But then I was kicking myself because it disappeared off the shelves at Sephora. You couldn't find it for like over a year. You couldn't get your hands on it. And finally, it reappeared during the last fall VIB sale. So I did go ahead and grab myself a bottle. Little did I know that they now released it in the nicer rectangular bottles that are like the signature shape of Kilian. So I'm stuck with this silly crystal ball looking mess. Anyway, the scent is beautiful. It's a tea marshmallow scent with a little bit of a ginger kick in the opening. It's fluffy, but it's also refreshing. This one, my man actually really likes when I wear this, and this is a very cozy scent and one of my favorite tea fragrances. So I'm not really mad about the bottle. I'm just like talking doo-doo, but get the new bottles. They look much nicer. And with a random Sephora purchase, I got Indigo from Nest. And I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. I bought it immediately, and they had a gift set with like a mini travel size. This is so beautiful, you guys. This has cardamom tea. It has fig, a beautiful fig. Exactly the fig that I want to smell in a fragrance. It's refreshing. It's a little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, and it's so unique. Like, this is exactly the kind of tea fig cardamom combo that I've dreamed of always, and I really, really love this. I think that anybody who likes fig and likes a tea scent should get this. It is feminine smelling. So I had tried Gris Charnel hoping for a scent like this. In fact, I blind bought it, and it was one of my biggest blind buy mistakes. Turns out this is what I wanted, and I got it now in Indigo. Do you see how we're gradually transitioning to the warmer stuff? Next one is 7 Virtues Vanilla Woods. Obviously another Sephora sample. The sprayer stopped spraying, so there is still like a little teeny tiny splash in there that is breaking my heart that I couldn't use, but whatever. I got this one as a gift from a friend of mine. It's like a caramelized pear scent with vanilla. I like this for the cooler weather. I don't touch this at all in the summer. It's just not something that I crave, but in the fall and winter, it is beautiful, and it's also really nice for layering. It's not too sweet. I really like this warm pear and vanilla combo. I find it very soothing, very comfortable, and perfect for cooler weather. And did I mention it's a clean fragrance? That one and Indigo from Nest are both clean fragrances, which is something that I pursue nowadays. As a new mom, it's something that's important to me. So the more often that I can wear clean fragrances, the better for me. Now, this one here really took me on a wild goose chase. This is Armani Code Satin. Yes, the discontinued Armani Code Satin. Because I went a couple years ago and dug through a bunch of my Sephora samples and decided I'm gonna try them all out and see which ones I love. Happened to fall in love with Armani Code Satin when it was already discontinued, not available, couldn't find it anywhere. Searched on Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, where have you. Found it, had to like go quite far out of town to pick it up from a lady in like a random parking lot, whatever. Love it, it's so good. But cold weather only, but so sexy. This is the best. This is better than cashmere. Trust me when I tell you guys, this is the one you want if you want a discontinued one. It's Armani Code Satin. It still has that nice orange blossom vanilla combo of the original Armani Code. It has a bit more sweetness. There's a little bit of a pear note. There's praline and cacao, but it works so well with that orange blossom type scent. It's smooth, very, very smooth, not too sweet. I find the cashmere a little bit too sweet, a little bit too dessert smelling and heavy. This one is not as heavy. It's actually a little bit on the fresher side. It's a little bit more of a gingeriness to it as well. And it's the best. I actually think I have an extra bottle of this. You could probably find it on my merch store. I will link that in the descriptions. Thescented.ca have decants and some full bottles. Because I went overboard. Then I went and like looked for more of them anyway. I bought too much. Now I have an extra bottle I probably won't use, so that's up on the shop. But yeah, Armani Code Satin is the jam. Then one of my more expensive purchases, Kilian Intoxicated. I got this on Fragrance Buy and it was still pricey. I worked through a sample that I got at Holt Renfrew. The sales rep there was like really pushing it, and when somebody pushes something to me, I'm like, I don't want to like it because I don't know why I'm like this. Like, I don't know why I am the way that I am, but when somebody really hypes something to me and tries to push me to it, I don't want it. But it worked in this case and I did want it and I bought it. So it's excellent. It's a spicy, sexy coffee fragrance. It's not too overpowering. This is the thing for me, is I like an intense scent, but I can't have it be overpowering because it'll give me a headache. This one doesn't do it. This one has a nice cardamom scent. It has nutmeg. It smells like a spiced black coffee. Like imagine like almost like an espresso, but or like a Turkish coffee. There you go. Kind of like a Turkish coffee. You know, they have them in those little tiny cups. It kind of smells like that with all those beautiful spices. It's a strong and spicy scent, but it's not too intense. So for me, it has that balance of strength and subtleness that I don't get a headache, which sometimes can be a problem for me. If a scent is really intense, even if I love it, I'll get a headache, can't wear it. Don't get a headache with this one. Maybe it's the fact that it's coffee, and being a coffee addict, it like alleviates my headache, so it works. Then I have Velvet Rose and Oud. I still have a bit left in my Sephora sample because I didn't work through it when I bought this. I smelled this and I was like, why does this smell so good? It like almost upset me how good it smelled because I knew at that moment that I needed to have the fragrance. The first moment that I laid my nose on this, I was like, what the heck? Why is this so good? And it is kind of in the similar vein of Oud Satin Mood. So I do like that powdery, sweet, rose, vanillic almost with a nice oud. Not a sharp oud, a smooth meditative oud. It is a little bit cheaper smelling version of Oud Satin Mood, but also a little bit more casual. Like I can wear this on a dinner date. I love this. I really, really love this. One of my favorite feminine rose oud combos that I find to be really easy wearing. And lastly, BDK Creme de Crme. I am a sucker for a good suede musky powdery scent. This is, I got a little sample from a friend of mine. She mailed it to me and I fell in love with this scent. On her, she said it smelled very baby powdery. So I think it very much depends on skin chemistry. I actually just took this out of the box. I haven't even sprayed it yet. I got it on Fragrance Buy's Canada Day sale. Look, I never pay full price for a fragrance if I can avoid it. I recommend you guys do the same. Shop where I shop and you'll save money. I don't like to pay full price. I'm that kind of person. If I get a deal, I feel good. And it's still expensive, yes. But, oh man, this cap is so heavy. Why is this so heavy? Anyway, Fragrance Buy has the hookups. This is where I got it. The sample blew me away. I love this beautiful suede note. BDK is super hyped, but the fragrances that get the hype, in my opinion, are not the fragrances that fully deserve it. Creme de Crme is impeccable. It is such a good, smooth, musky, feminine leather fragrance. It is so easy wearing. It has a little bit of sweetness. There's like a little bit of fruity sweetness. I believe there's some pineapple in there, but it's not a sharp pineapple. This one is warm. It's a little bit peppery. It has cashmere in here, sandalwood, really nice musk. Like the musk and the suede do it for me. This is very buttery. It's soft, cozy, and very feminine. So ladies, don't be afraid of this if you're just venturing into leather or suede fragrances. This is beautiful. There's no sharpness in this. It's actually very classy, very refined, smooth, and easy wearing, even on a warm day. Like I've worn this in the summer and it works fine. I mean, I'm pointing to this, but I meant the sample. So those are all of my fragrances that I sampled and immediately had to purchase. I just drop everything and buy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which fragrance you sampled and immediately had to press the buy button, and I would love to check it out. You guys can discover any of these on my Decant shop. It's the Scented Dossier. Most of them are up on the shop now. If not, they will be soon, and you can sample to your heart's desire. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe. It means a lot to me. It helps the channel grow, and I can keep making fun fragrance content for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.